Hope you're doing good. Micah back with another video. Back here to talk about the iPad Pro M2 running the iPadOS 17.4 that released a couple weeks ago. Doing a follow-up video on it to see just how well this software has really been running for this iPad. For me, it's been pretty good. I mean, this has been one of the more stable releases that we've gotten from Apple as of recently in terms of a full-fledged software update that really came with no bugs. And I think that's something that we should definitely feel good about when it comes to Apple releasing their software, because we know as of late, maybe since iOS 14, we started seeing a lot more bugs being introduced with updates. Maybe they're just being, dropped too fast, or potentially with the many more different types of devices that Apple has been launching, that now incurs more bugs than just having a few different devices to have to optimize for. So with iPadOS 17.4, what was really new that I still kind of use 2 weeks later after release? Well, before I get into that, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That way you know it's our video, so you and I can sit back, check, see what's cracking. Now, let's get into the video. And the first thing I want to talk about is Apple Music. And for me, this is kind of like my opening homepage on my iPad. This is where all the activity really goes down, with minimal activity over here. But here, upon swiping to Apple Music, we know in Apple Music, they have added heavy rotation mix. I wasn't even expecting it to pop up like that. One of the things I've noticed, though, is that this rotation is very short, only 25 songs. And I hope that this is a learning experience, like it's machine learning or some form of generative AI that will increase this and actually improve upon this later as we get more updates from Apple. I don't know why it only stops at 25 songs, considering I have a playlist that has like over 700. I have several songs in it that I listen to on a regular, and for it to only basically choose about 25 is a little concerning. I get it; it's a first kind of feature in a while, so to speak, for Apple Music in that way. So hopefully this just is better over time. And I like the fact that this is now home with the home icon. It just brings a lot of their apps into a more uniform look, standard across all the devices, being really consistent when it comes to their software. So that's something that I definitely like and appreciate from Apple Music. I haven't really had too many problems otherwise with Apple Music. I could say that maybe with my driving playlist, sometimes it also limits itself in terms of the amount of music it tries to play. But I think it may just show you a portion of your playlist, and once you make it towards the end, it will release more from the playlist. So interesting to see that with just a normal playlist that I use on a regular basis with Apple Music. But I do definitely hope that both playlists in general and this heavy rotation mix definitely improves over time, because I would like to use this more and more often than right now. Speaking of Apple Podcasts, if I bring that up here, so let's go ahead and search for it. There it is. I do like Apple Podcasts because of the now floating playing bar. To me, I like that more kind of futuristic overlaying look. It does remind me of Material You Design a little bit when it comes to how Android apps kind of look. So I do like that floating playing bar, and I like the fact that we do have transcriptions. Now this feature I have not used that often, but I do like the layout and the aesthetic for the iPad, and I like how you can search for keywords to get and skip to specific aspects of a podcast episode that you're looking for. And so I definitely like that added feature. I just don't use it as much because I'm usually tied in with what they're listening to, so I usually don't have to skip too often into certain podcasts. But I do like the fact that the transcript is right there on the side and is very legible. I really like that. The other thing that I noticed is the amount of emojis. Now I primarily use those on my iPhone, but with the iPad, if I am texting from the iPad, because it does receive my messages from my iPhone, I will use those emojis as well. It's over, I think, like 118 plus emojis, and a lot of those will deal with skin tone and altering the look of specific emojis. But the head nodding have been very, very favorites of my and the dragon and chain emoji, just to name a few. I think there's a lemon or lime emoji. A lot of those have been referenced from a lot of us in this community. So have fun with those emojis. I've been using them with my iPhone, and if I do text from my iPad. Performance wise, how has performance been with this iPad? Well, it has been phenomenal. As one of the things I continue to note, this just gets better and better with use. I think the only thing that this crashes on from time to time, I'm trying to remember. Oh, is my PlayStation app. That's the only app that crashes from time to time. I'm in it, I'm using it, scrolling around, searching for video games, and the app will just crash or close, and then I have to reopen it. So that's the only app I've noticed having problems with, and that really kind of started even before iOS or iPadOS 17.4. I think I started even noticing that with iPadOS 17.3. So hopefully PlayStation, which I do believe they do have an update coming for that app to kind of refine it some more because they're adding new features to it. But in terms of day-to-day use with Apple's apps, just fine. Usability, just fine. My MD Vinyl app works even better now, and they've also updated and kind of improved their app when it comes to the listening experience, the vinyl. So if I go ahead and if it allows me to click in, so see it, and it will automatically jump on over to Apple Music because that's what I have it synced to. It also allows you to sync Spotify to it, but this is what it looks like now. And if I wanted to, I believe I can full screen it, and it looks like a complete vinyl player, and that's something I definitely like from this app because it's beautiful. And so if I just wanted to use this and look at it from that perspective, I could. If I wanted to just switch back to the vinyl player right here, I'm fine with that too. And so I'm just glad that a lot of these apps are working more or less flawlessly with iPadOS 17.4. And the apps kind of bring me to another discussion I even had with my iOS 17.4 video, but I will address it here briefly as well. Hopefully, Apple decides to segregate their core apps from major software releases, meaning Notes, Reminders, Safari, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, to name a few. Those can be now updated in the App Store. That's what I would like to see in the future, because if that's not the case, we will always have to wait for these monthly updates for these apps to be addressed. We know in the Android world, all apps can be addressed at any given moment, basically through the Google Play Store or Samsung's Galaxy Store if you have a Samsung device. Or the Google Play system update will address some things as well. Whereas here in Apple world, outside of Apple Sports, every other app that's Apple's core apps are always only accessible for updates through these iPad or iOS X.X updates. And so I hope that that gets addressed later, where they get segregated and they can be updated through the App Store, because it would be nice to see a little bit more detail as to all the things that was or more things that were addressed per app. And I think that's a lot easier to manage with the App Store than these monthly releases from Apple. So I just wanted to address that briefly. I'd actually like to know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Battery life has been very, very interesting with this, because, and the reason why I say because, I think it has been improving over time. So for me, because I edit in DaVinci, that's going to be my biggest battery hogger. But what I've noticed is I'm able to edit even longer form videos in DaVinci and still have plenty of battery life to consume media content on this throughout the day. So I can effectively get about, let's see, if I wake up around 10, 11, I go shoot, I start transferring around 12, 1 o'clock. Once I transfer the data, so you're looking at about 12, 1 o'clock is when I really start baking use into this. I can get 12 hours out of my iPad before having to put it on the charger, because I can go from 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 12, 1 o'clock in the morning on one full charge. And that's editing 1 to 2 videos and then streaming media afterwards, whether it's from YouTube or from other streaming media apps like Apple TV Plus, Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, you name it, Amazon Prime. Streaming that, I can also still get that much battery life out of my iPad. And then you're also talking about optimizing my YouTube videos through Safari. So I'm getting Safari usage out of this, and I think my Safari has several tabs open, so that's also something lingering in the background. But I'm able to achieve all that within a 12-hour time period, and that's with editing 4K videos, because all I do is shoot in 4K. So shooting 4K with DaVinci Resolve, editing those videos, I'm able to achieve at least 12 hours of use. And if I'm not editing, then I'm able to get about a day out of this, or effectively 15 to 16 hours in my opinion. And it's crazy when but it's another 3 hours or so that I can achieve if I don't edit for the day. So the weekend, this covers me over the weekend for sure. And this is, of course, using the Magic Keyboard, being attached to the iPad to do my editing, and then I reattach it to either this Pataka case here or Apple's Folio case, so that way I can watch media. So for me, this iPad has been doing and working wonders from that perspective since updating to iPadOS 17.4, and I hope that again this continues down the pipeline. I will be doing an iPad Pro review tomorrow, so my overall thoughts as to how my iPad has been since I've had it for like over 7 months now. So that'll be my video tomorrow, and probably get a little bit more into detail about usability, the M2 chip, what I'm noticing, and is the M3 worth it? Because we know the M3 iPad Pros will be launching or being unveiled most likely next week. So we'll get into that fun jazz tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. But that is it for this video. Battery life talked about, very good. Performance talked about, very good. Haven't noticed any bugs other than one app kind of crashing on a regular, which is my PlayStation app. Notification, I never noticed any bugs in here, but I also don't get a lot of notifications on my iPad, so that's fine. And then general usability, since running iPadOS 17.4 the last 2 weeks, have been a-okay solid. So let me know down in the comment section below what you guys have been experiencing with your iPads or with your devices that you're running that may have received updates recently. I would love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite, like, subscribe to the channel, the notification bell. That way, some videos, so you and I can sit back, like, who's cracking. But your man Micah signing out until the next video. Wait for it.